He had Billy Preston playing organ, and that was hysterical.
I was out.
Billy Preston.
We had Duck Dunn playing bass when I was out there.
Nice. Hey, Mark, did you have Sean
Yeah.
Murphy singing?
Yes.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's a good friend.
There was two girls singing. I don't know the other one's name. I could find out, but
Well, Marcy
Sean
was
Murphy's
one.
the one that sang with Little Feat for a while, right?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, and with
Yeah,
Bob
she
Seger
was
for a
with
long time.
She was with she was with Engelbert when I was with Engelbert.
She did a solo album. Or not a solo, an album with Meatloaf. It was the two of them before Meatloaf was famous, and it was called
Or
Stony
Carla
and
DeVito, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the story was, but I don't think it did very well. She's got quite a voice.
Yeah.
Eric has been Eric's had a very good career. I'd have to say that. And speaking of a very good career, welcome everybody to Thinking Out Loud with Friends of SoundBroker, our 269th show, consecutive, never missing a beat. That's what I like. Just remember, everything you hear today is an opinion. So do your own research. We are very fortunate today to have a special guest in the room, Greg McVeigh, an author, a sound aficionado, a man who's been in the industry so long that he probably doesn't remember that it was drunk and dirty when he first started.
Yeah, I remember.
Is there any truth to that rumor?
That was the stage crew in Michigan, the Drunken Dirties.
Yeah, I think Tony V told me that from Thunder, that he knew you from then.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, I bet you.
But still willing.
I'm holding things back, I'll tell you.
Man, this is impressive because I got to tell you, when I watched the episode last week where you said our guest is going to be Greg McVeigh, he wrote a book. I don't know what it is. So this is, and then I think it went to one of you guys talking about a book about the Panama Canal. And I thought
that would have been me.
We've lost the plot. Yeah. And then I bought the Panama Canal book thinking I've lost all track of what's going on in my life, but I'm going to learn about the Panama Canal thanks to this group.
I guess you can thank Wayne for that. Isn't
Wayne,
that cool?
That was it.
Well, the most interesting thing is I want to continue on because I want to say a little bit about your book. It's called Just 100 Questions. It's a collection of thoughts on music and sound. It's a book of love. I read the snippets. Mark J in the room actually has the book. Kenny has the book. Mark J has the book. You know, it's being sold on Amazon. If you go up to SoundBroker, you can get a link so I can get an affiliate thing. Oh, only joking.
I had no idea.
Only serious.
So I have one question for you, though, is how come I wasn't interviewed for the book? It's a pay-to-play thing, Jan. You can be in the next one, which I'm doing now. Actually, you should be in the next one, which I'm doing now. I keep saying my wife calls it When Hell Froze Over book because we finished this one. And I thought, well, that's the end of that. that was fun, you know. And then I thought, you kind of get the bug, you know. I'm going to do another one here, and we're off to the races.
And what's again? Well, I think you released the tentative title.
Son of Just clever. 100 Questions.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
That's clever.
But Jan, did you know that that Greg had something to do with the isn't it the film The Wrecking Crew?
Big time. Yeah, I worked with Denny Tedesco. He's a good friend of mine. Helped them with their financing, really, you know, to get that over the finish line. Denny had been sort of floundering for years. And we did that. And then I helped a little bit with The Immediate Family, his other film, which is great. And yeah, he's a good guy.
Those are big things. The Wrecking Crew is quite a film, right?
Oh my God, it was incredible. I got to meet, you know, the guys that were still alive. Hal Blaine. You know, I sat with Hal a few times, and you know, I mean, I played drums as a kid, and to be sitting with Hal Blaine talking about something, you know, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I'm like, I can't believe this.
Didn't he win like 5 Grammys in 1 year?
Something like that. I read a book that about the Wrecking Crew, and they mentioned something like that, or that he was on. I mean, he didn't win anything, but you know, he played on 5 Grammy songs. and those guys never got any notice. I mean, that was part of the whole scene.
Right.
With the
Yeah,
Wrecking
Glenn
Crew.
Campbell was in it.
Credits. They never got
Greg,
credits,
tell
right?
us a little.
Never got credits. Yeah.
Yeah, for those people who don't
And
know what the Wrecking
Carol
Crew.
Kay is one of the more famous members of that gang,
Yeah.
right?
And she hated the Wrecking
She's still doing it, right?
She's-
She what? Wait, what?
I don't think she hates Denny and the Wrecking Crew, and
Just remember, everything you hear today is an opinion. Do your own research. Okay, there you go.
Just go online.
So anyway,
look up
Greg,
Carol
tell
Kay
us
and
a
the
little bit
Wrecking
about the Wrecking Crew. What is it, the Wrecking Crew, for those people who were living in a closet from the 60s to the 90s?
Well, I mean, it was a bunch of studio session musicians in LA in the early 60s, I guess, where, it's just hit single, hit single, hit single. I'm looking at the poster. This will help. They played on the Beach Boys, Mamas and the Papas, the Monkees. They were the designated players. The record companies wouldn't let these bands come in and play because it was a machine, and these players could knock it out in 2 hours, a hit song, and just their story is phenomenal. And Denny's father, Tommy Tedesco, was one of the premier guitar players in the Wrecking Crew. And so Denny started out making he calls it the most expensive home movie ever made. It was him talking about his dad, and he got the players around a table. Sounds like some of you guys have seen the movie, but gets them around a table and they're just talking about their lives and what they played on. And Carol, she's the star of it. And she talks about The Beat Goes On, how they got the music, and it was the whole song is one chord. And she said, I can't do that. And she came up with that beginning lick that everybody identifies with, that song. And that's how they all were. They came up with those parts.
And they just got a day's pay for that? Is that what we're saying?
They were union. They made good money, but it was a union thing to them. It was, I don't want to say they didn't care. They cared passionately, but it was their gig. It was go in, do a session.
It's like, what song are we playing today?
Yeah. Who's the artist? And
Yeah,
they were tight with Brian Wilson. They were a little more than just session guys with Brian. He loved him.
Yeah, I'm under the impression that they recorded the Monkees albums. They wouldn't let anybody none of those guys from the Monkees play, and they wouldn't even let them in the studio. I think that they went in the studio, did some vocals, whatever, and then the producer took the tracks out.
Pretty much.
So the vocalists were always the actual band.
Yeah,
is what we're saying. But
Beach
the
Boys
musicians were not necessarily.
Yeah, the Beach Boys are a great example because they would be on the road all the time, and Brian and the Wrecking Crew. And the Wrecking Crew, there were a lot of people in it that came, 3 or 4 drummers and whatnot. But Hal was big on the Beach Boys stuff, and the guys from the band would come in and do the harmonies and do the vocals that only they could do. It was just kind of a machine in those days.
Yeah, wasn't Glenn Campbell in?
Yeah, he was part of the Wrecking Crew.
Right?
Yeah, he's in the movie. He's hilarious.
Yeah. Yes, he is. He really steals his episode in the.
He was talking to Denny about your dad came in and was playing the music all wrong, and it turned out he had the sheet music upside down, and and he was just messing with everybody. And Glenn tells that story, and so
So let me ask you this, Greg: is there, so to speak, Wrecking Crew these days, or did that fizzle out and went away in the '70s and never returned?
Immediate Family kind of took over, and it was Leland Sklar, Russ Kunkel, those guys, and I think after that maybe it kind of petered out.
If you haven't read Steve Lukather's book, is pretty good too about all the stuff that he played on. I read that a couple of years ago. It was pretty fascinating. You look at the credits on the album credits that Lukather has in the back of his book, and it's like 2,000 records. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I'd also say that Greg has got a pretty impressive record here of how many people he interviewed. Steve Black, Iris Bingus, Dave Catching, Ben and Jeff Daniels. I'm reading the list. Russ Kunkel, Gary Moore, Sean Murphy, Tommy Emmanuel. You really, Jan Alexandra from
I
the
think
Case
you
Company.
folks would know pretty much everybody in the book. Some of the musicians, maybe not. I was just sort of found them as I found them, but you'll know all the live sound guys, including Ken Newman. So it was fun to do, and a portion of the proceeds from sales go to the Rhodey Clinic in Niles, Michigan. And so we've been working with Paul Klimps and his wife Courtney, and they are doing some great work. So my wife says I'm trying to buy my way into heaven.
So the big question is, have you sold any copies of it? Have you sold over 1,000 or anything?
None of your business.
No, okay,
I got
good.
you. Not a lot. You know what I mean? I look at it like, on one hand, I've sold more books than I've ever sold in my life. On the other hand, it's slow. It's not a bestseller.
Well, he's in the top 100 of the book sales. That's it. I'm making this up. Do your own research.
You're lying. There's a fine line here, Jan.
Yeah.
No, I love it, and it's cool, and it's the people that have it. Everybody says this is remarkable, and it makes me feel good. Jan, you and I were talking about, we're at a point where we're doing things because we love it, and that's how this book was for me. It's just people that I dig, and I was glad that they took the time, and I kept it. I was smart. It's literally one question per person. With Ken's, I think we did something about Barry theatrical tricks on stage or something you did, so I make it tailored to the person. And it's, I don't ask what's your favorite plugin or any of that shit. It's just tell me something different. And
well, there's some great answers in there. I particularly like, I think it was Pooch Van Druten, I think it was, what's your favorite time of the day or something? And he was like, when the lights go out and the audience gets bumped up for the show, that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the best answer ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
There's that little poof in the air, and
right.
And then it's go time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
I'm proud of it.
But so tell me about what it takes to make a book come to market. That must have taken a lot of
Well,
work.
we did it through Amazon, and I've decided that Amazon is kind of like to self-publishers what Spotify is to musicians. It's got some good things, but you don't make much money or anything. But they were amazing when it came to the production of the book. They have a whole division that handles authors, and so we did it that way, and I'm pleased with that part of it. I'm starting to sell it more on my website, and that's worked out better too. I can sign it if somebody.
So then it begs the question: when's the audiobook come out, and can I read my page and everybody read their page?
Sure.
I want to do that. I want to work on that with you.
Then okay, everyone.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Don't do your own research. Ken, you're hired. I think it'd be cool. It'd be very cool if I could get.
Can you imagine hearing those people that said those things saying those things? That would be so amazing. Great. That would be.
Except I think a lot of them would say, "I told you never to call me again."
Yeah.
No, you're serious.
They're like, well, I mean, I had to kind of chase. You get a Dave Natal, you get a few minutes of his time, and I love him, but he's pretty like, this is it.
So then find an interview with him, and then feed it into Chat GPT, and then feed it the words that he wrote.
He'll beat me up.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
And I won't blame him.
Now, Greg, was Bob still alive when you wrote the book? Is Bob in there?
Yeah,
Bob
he's
Heil?
in there. Yep. And his was great. I said, "What's your deal with the color purple?" And it was, he always liked purple. I don't know if you see him at trade shows, he always had purple. But he said, I started out making my mic cables purple so they wouldn't get stolen. When Heil Sound in their heyday was doing big festivals and whatnot. He said it was part marketing and part theft prevention. And I thought that's pretty cool, so.
I remember as a teenager, Heil Sound, white horns and purple horns.
Yep.
And weren't there purple horns? There were different color horns.
All
and
white.
Stuff. It was really a thing.
Oh yeah. That was part of his deal, and God love him. He was an original.
Did you ever visit your music shop in Marissa, Illinois?
I never did. Did any of you?
No, the first mixer I ever
Porter's
mixed
raising
on
his hands.
was a Heil.
Yeah.
Yeah, little 8-channel rotary knobs, little purple.
They have it in the lobby at one of those.
Yeah.
just a fascinating guy, and I miss him. He became a good friend, and
So,
and
is there any footage, any tapes of him doing high tech Heil on the radio station in St. Louis for years, where people just call in and it was a ask any question you want to know and he'd answer it?
probably. I'm not sure. I didn't know about that, Ken. I didn't.
You're supposed to know everything.
Well, it's the point
Yeah,
where I
well,
don't know. We did a good podcast with him a few years back, and he was fascinating. He was good. But I know he did something with KMOX. Is that a St. Louis station or?
Yep, KMOX, and it was
Yeah.
like 3 nights a week for like
See, I
2
know a
hours.
little bit.
Call in and ask questions about
You know more than
Yeah.
everything.
and he was a big ham operator. He was
Huge.
huge into ham operation.
so. I bet he
ham
was
radio.
friends with Joe Walsh then,
Huge.
right?
Yeah. Joe did an intro for us on a podcast that he was doing about ham radio, and he said, Joe said, in order for me to not, I don't know, something about licensing and management, he did Morse code on his guitar. Kind of a did it, and only I knew that, and Bob knew. It wasn't like people went, "Oh, that's Joe Walsh," but just knowing
Oh,
that,
that's amazing.
yeah, he had done that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
So
want
is
to
Heil
throw
Sound
something in.
still exist? And
Yeah,
what's the future of
yeah.
Heil Sound?
Well, they make microphones.
Make
They make
microphones still.
microphones.
Ken
They're
knows
continuing
that.
to make microphones.
Yeah, they're doing
Yeah,
what they
I was
do.
just wondering, are you going to continue? Is the company going to continue? Well, with
Yeah.
these new challenges in our government, it could be
Oh,
difficult.
that's a pisser for them. I have weekly calls with Michelle and Ash, the owners, and they're, I don't want to say terrified, but it's such, for a small business, you hear that story and it lands. Sometimes you don't think of it with, I don't know, Ford Motor or, the big, huge companies. It doesn't always relate. But boy, when you hear it from a small Midwest company of, we've got components on a ship that we can't afford to get landed here because we don't know what the tariffs are, it's major. So they contend with it, but they're doing okay.
It's not only major for them. I just read today that General Motors and I think Ford are going to be taking billions of dollars right now of losses thanks to the tariffs. But
Yeah.
we don't talk about politics here. We only talk about good things. So, one thing I will say is this. I can't tell you how many times in a week someone says to me, "You should write a book."
Yeah.
And and so I'm sure you heard it a lot because you did write the book. But the how did you decide that that was what you wanted to do? What gave you the motivation? Because I'll bet anything, if I ask for a show of hands, how many people in this room have been told at one point in their life you should write a book? Just raise your hand.
Everybody in this
Everybody
group
in the room,
I know this crowd.
Greg Baker, some of his stories, he could write a book just about him and Night Bob, nothing else. Of course, he would be in jail next to Giselle Maxwell's, but what the hell? But it's a good book. It would make,
Well, for
So
me, it was
how did you decide to do it?
Well, I started out doing, I guess the very beginning was I got a newsletter I'm sort of a marketing guy anyway. I do PR and artist relations but I remember getting a newsletter from Sweetwater, and it was an interview with, I don't know, the singer from Judas Priest or one of those metal bands. And I'm always kind of interested in singers and how they are, because I can't carry a tune to save my life. So I read it and it went on and on and on and on. And you could tell the guy didn't know what the writer wanted or what the interviewer wanted. So that was always kind of in the back of my mind. So I started doing these posts of, what if you just said one question? These are brilliant people. If you could, which was a challenge, just getting it to one question. But what if you did that and asked that the answer become, 150 words kind of thing? And so I started posting them, and I started with Bob Heil because, obviously he was a friend, and I started posting them online on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I put the Heil logo on because they were, a dear friends and a client, but it wasn't really intended that way. And I made sure it was okay with the people that were going to, if they were a sure endorser or something, I kind of cleared that. But So I just started doing it, and I realized, I've got 50 or 60 of these. What if I put them into a book? And then it became, well, you got to have 100. Just came in my head. I don't know why. 100 would be a good number. And so I just kept chasing it and did it. And I can tell you it's a lot of work. It's a lot of elbow grease. Everybody says I'm going to write a book. That seems to be the new, I'm not knocking it, but like the new thing, it used to be I'm going to make an album or whatever, but I'll tell you, it's hard work. And it's the beauty of it is you have something to hold that you did, and that's, like I said earlier, what I'm proud of, but it took a lot of work. But it started with those posts, to answer your question, that some of you maybe saw on LinkedIn. I don't know.
Now, did you, when you
And
submitted
the posts
your
were sort of
book-
an answer to that long-winded
Yeah, it
interview.
was just, I mean, that was just in my head. I didn't like that, and I've done a few video interviews,
That's very,
and my
very
brothers are
insightful.
my brothers are great video interviewers, and I've done a few, and I can always tell when the guy or the woman, they don't know what the hell you want, and it's like criminal to me to not go in knowing what you want to get out of that interview. It's almost like, in a way, like a lawyer, where they ask a question that they know the answer to. You have to let these people know what you want, and so I tried to make it that way of, let's not waste their time. Let's make it cool, a little bit different. And we'll just get on with it. And it worked.
So the next book, are you going to do another book called Tales from the Bus Lounge?
No, hey, mister, you're in the next book. You have to answer the question that I sent you a month ago.
I'll work on that one. I'll
Yeah, you're working on it. Hey, you're not working on it.
It's been,
Call me, we'll work it through together.
all right.
All right, there you go. Hey, ladies
gotta
and
go.
gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Weekend.
Just because I asked you about the early hip hop acts you did.
With the Fat Boys.
I think I hit a nerve. I
remember, I mean,
Keith Sweat.
Speaking about writing books and stuff, I remember when I was a teenager and I was working for a local band, and I was still in high school, and I remember I wrote a story about what we did at this one gig, and the English teacher was like, "Oh my God, this is great! Wow, how did you really climb on the speakers right while they were playing and everything?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's what I said, right?" So, but I always thought, well, that's a cool thing to write about, People love to hear about it, is the point,
They do, but you got to write. You got to do it. Otherwise, it's just in your head.
I think one of the reasons.
Yeah, I got lots in my head. Yeah.
All right, Kenny. Dennis?
Well, I was going to say,
Danny?
I think that one of the reason, thanks for the correction, I think one of the reason why so many people are thinking about doing their books is many of us have either retired or are about to retire. So,
Sure.
It's when you're out there gigging, it's not time to write the book,
It's combat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's comeback audio at that point. So, I think that the reason why many of us had this in this Zoom right now it's because, well, actually, that's not true. Fred is still right in the midst of it, and so is Ken. But I can think of some of us that are in the retired mode.
Sure.
Well,
You kind of
actually,
reflect a little
I'm
bit.
thinking about retiring, but it seems, Denny, and I look around this room, you are the only one.
Well, actually, it's funny. I have a gig next week, but I retired because of the type of gig that I had. The last gig that I had was a production manager in a venue that's owned by a municipality. That's why I was able to retire. But trust me, nobody else that I'm around is retiring in these conditions. They're all still gigging. They still all have their their small clientele. They still have their their regulars and stuff like that. But
They're thinking, I should have thought this out more.
Yeah.
I know. I'd still be out there if
That's
I
what
could
I
be out
think.
there.
I did not plan well.
Look, Mark is not retired anymore. I mean, health reasons, almost retired as all. Mark's doing the On Tour magazine,
On Tour
which I love.
That's right. That's right. He and I have chatted a little bit.
Somehow he seems to be, Mark, I don't know how you're doing this, but somehow it seems you're only getting news out there, which I love, which all the other rags out there are all just, advertising publications, of people who are paying them money to get stories in there. But you seem to really have the news.
It's not easy, and it's usually secondhand now, unfortunately, because I don't have the contacts that I used to have, or I have some of them. And I'd say I am retired, and I owned that domain for maybe 5 years before I decided to do anything with it. And I still don't know what to do with it. It's kind of a work in progress, I guess. I don't know what direction to take it, but it's doing something.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I don't know who's the hardest working man in this room. It's a toss up between Kurt Hare and Ken Porter. I mean, those guys, I think at this point in time, Kurt Hare's got like 9 shows going on at the same time. Amazing amount of work he's doing. And Kenny, you got 9 trucks going out.
So an idea for a story on your paper would be, is private equity killing the sound business or the music business?
Probably.
I'll take whatever I can get.
You got to do more.
You guys mark it on tournetwork.com. Send me whatever you want. I'll put it up.
Was that a rhetorical question?
One thing I noticed, Ozzy Osbourne passed, this week, and
too bad.
I was amazed on how the mass media picked up on his death. I mean, an amazing amount of coverage.
It's big news.
Did you see the Lady Gaga?
He's a famous guy
from last night. She ended her show last night in San Francisco with a tribute to him.
Yeah, what a life, huh? I mean,
yeah.
Geez.
TV does well, though.
Did I hear that his death was almost an assisted suicide? Anybody hear that?
There had been talk previously about them agreeing to do that, but no one ever came out and said, yes, that's what happened.
Yeah, well, with the timing at the end of his last, I mean, how long ago did they just finish that?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
But he also stopped taking medication, all of his meds, for 2 weeks prior to that, so that he can do the show, because a lot of the meds that there was a story on it on the BBC. A lot of the meds that he was taking were for pain and stuff like that, and he wanted it to be a great show, and he did real well with it.
I guess it was great. Yeah. I think there was a side of me that was thinking, is this going to be another deal where they just work him literally to death with Sharon and all that? But it seemed like it was, obviously with the death and all that, but it just seemed like the cool show. And I'm glad they wrapped it up. And again, just what a life the guy had.
He sure seemed to be happy, thrilled, I would say. He was thrilled to be out there.
Sounded pretty good.
Those people. And he sounded,
It was an all-star.
And I had
crew
some
there,
personal
too.
experience with him and Sharon over at the Rainbow. When I was a regular at the Rainbow, he was a regular at the Rainbow. And super nice guy. Super nice guy. It was, he was super famous at that point in time, but you wouldn't have known it. He was just, he was just a normal human being at the Rainbow. If there was such a thing as a normal human being at the Rainbow at that time.
Yeah, I don't know that works.
No, that Birmingham show was, it was also for the crew. People came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Worked for free. It was absolutely amazing.
I loved how simple that stage looked. I know it wasn't simple, but the look. I kept waiting for now there's going to be this dramatic reveal of some.
You saw the turntable, right? Doing it on the turntable made it just so easy.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, the look was just
Yeah,
kind of
it was just
it was cool. I
with the
liked it a
basic
lot.
amp line and
Yeah.
drum kit, and there you go.
Do we know if Greg Price was involved?
Probably with Metallica.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
he?
heard.
Yeah.
I asked questions on some Instagram post, and somebody answered me and said he mixed both Metallica and Ozzy and what Ozzy's band? What's it called? Black Sabbath.
Black
He mixed
Sabbath,
all
yeah.
three of those parts of the show.
Quite a
And
night.
speaking of which, is Greg Price in your book, Greg?
No, he's on. I should get him, shouldn't I? I know him. a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure. I mean, considering that Ozzy just passed away, and there's a lot of history there. He was with Ozzy forever, you know.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him. He'd be good.
And now he's with Metallica, who Big Mick was with forever.
I'm chasing Big
And
Mick.
you know, Big Mick,
which is not
yeah,
easy.
Big Mick would be a good one. I bet that would be amazing.
Oh,
He'd
he
have some
was
words of
great.
wisdom for us kids.
He's
was
you know
great.
some of those are the guys that are not easy to ask one question to. I can tell you that. But no, I've
You
got
have to
my
choose
Big Mick
wisely,
is on my
right?
list. So
Yeah.
Well, you just asked the one question. Tell me everything that I need to know about you and your philosophy.
Yeah, that's too generous. Too general.
it's
Remember,
hard.
how about this? How about this, Greg? Greg Price and I were the first two guys to do sound at the Giant State, the Meadowlands Stadium in New Jersey, back in 1976 or 77, because he worked for, his brother's in Pablo Cruz or something, right? So he was
I
mixing
didn't know
Pablo
that.
Cruz, and I was mixing the band before Pablo Cruz.
That's
Pretty
not a
funny, right?
question, but I can work with it.
Mhm.
Pablo
That's
Cruz.
an answer.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Remind me of that, Ken. That could work.
Yeah,
I missed that. Ken, were you
isn't that
talking
funny?
about? You talking about? What the fuck is his name?
Greg Price.
Yeah, Greg Price's brother was the piano player in
Oh
Pablo
yeah,
Cruz.
and Pablo Cruz. I love that band.
That's how he got to be the mixer because he learned at the same time that everybody else did.
Right.
And Michael Gladstone toured with Pablo Cruz.
I saw them at Castle Farms
See
in
that?
northern Michigan. I don't know. Maybe
These
they
days,
opened for
Pablo Cruz
Foreigner.
still exists, but are there any original members, David?
Yeah, they were just on the cruise I was on.
Was
Is that
Bud
right?
Cockrell
Because
with them?
Larry, the bass player, is he was the Wolfman in the movie That Thing You Do. But he's just he was a sideman basically,
Well,
but he's not one of the original Pablo Cruzes.
Wasn't Bud Cockrell the bass player, if I remember correctly?
Yes,
In the
Bud
original
Cockrell
Pablo
was the
Cruz?
bass player.
Yeah.
But then,
Apparently he's not
Bud
anymore.
left the band. Bud left the band at some point, so maybe he took over.
Larry
Oh,
was
very
in.
cool.
This is why I know Larry, because Larry was in Barry Manilow's band for a while.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah,
Wait,
everybody's
what
been
did-
in
what
Barry
does Larry
Manilow's
play?
band for a while.
What
Bass.
does
He
Larry
plays
play?
bass. Yeah.
Okay.
Small
It's
world.
a small but huge world, right?
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
When Hotel California did the 70s rock and romance cruise 2 years ago, the first half of the cruise was a bunch of musicians that we didn't see because we get on in the middle of the cruise. And Pablo Cruz was on the first half. So I was really hoping to see them, but it never happened.
Yeah. Who's ever got that music in the
Larry,
background, you got to shut that down.
I'm friends with Larry on Facebook, and he's always posting about his Pablo Cruz gigs.
Seem to be doing the circuit.
Yeah.
So, by the
Right.
way, what's going on with Steve Miller? What made him cancel all the shows? Anybody know anything about that?
Heard it was booking.
I'm guessing ticket sales.
Yeah.
Not the weather, hey?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad move.
He wasn't flying like an
Seriously, you
eagle,
think
hey?
that they didn't have enough ticket sales, so they canned it, huh?
Well, that's, once again, my opinion.
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
It is
all right.
your opinion. I mean, this week there was some music news. Could you believe what happened at Coldplay, at that concert at Coldplay?
That could have been
That
any
was
of us.
You wanna
fantastic.
talk
That was
about bad luck.
fantastic.
There go by the grace of God go many of us.
What happened?
The kiss cam.
Yeah.
didn't see
there was
it,
a
Fred?
CEO of a company called I believe it was called Aviator. I never
Something
heard of
strange
it.
like
There's
that.
something like that.
Astronaut or
Astronaut.
otter, yeah.
Yeah, astronaut. And they got caught on camera kissing one of his employees, who actually was just, I guess, a little more than an employee.
Yeah, yeah. They were
And
having
what's
a
funny is
thing
Director of HR.
of HR,
yeah,
right?
I was just gonna say
So she wouldn't be familiar with any of the company
Yeah.
policies at all.
This is a bad idea, boss. And then you get
Well,
caught on that. My God. The way it
What's
goes.
really
I seem to
cool
remember.
about
I
all
seem
the
to
all the
remember when
memes all the memes that came out on that, and then
I
also
love.
too on Monday night, Colbert did a because he got canceled over the weekend, and so on Colbert's show on Monday night, they the Late Show, they did a kiss cam, and they had they had Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, John, all the late night guys.
yeah, Jon Stewart. Yeah.
Jon Stewart and so it was really good. Well done. It was well done. Coldplay's.
Well,
I mean, what great free advertising for them.
Oh my God,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I would say right now his
You saw.
show is ratings are going off the roof right now, going out the roof.
So
You know,
and meanwhile, the astronaut guy is
Gone.
had to
Yeah.
resign from his gig because of an embarrassment
You know,
and
my-
doing
my
the wrong
son-
thing.
My son had a good point. He said, if they hadn't looked so guilty and dodged and ducked when they, if they would have just kind of hung in there or quietly went,
You have
bye.
to fight this,
And
No
then
one would have.
they
no
hit the
who
one
deck.
knew
would have
these
paid
people?
any
Who
attention.
knew these people? I mean, really, nobody knew who they
Nobody
were.
until that night. Now everybody
Until
knows.
then, mate. And then, holy moly,
I love the
I mean,
memes. Greg, did you see the memes where it's a girl and she's pretending to be the wife of the guy? She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh man, I can't believe it. He's a Coldplay fan." Oh,
The best
there's
one.
that.
The best one. Did you see the Philly Fanatics take on it?
Oh yeah, I
that was
That was
fantastic.
the best one.
with the mascots, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Right. The
Yeah,
female
yeah,
and
yeah,
male,
yeah,
with the female mascot had long hair. It was hilarious.
I mean, memes and social media, of course, is insane. You think about it, I had no idea, and another person who died this week, Connie Francis,
Right.
that Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians use one of her songs, and next thing you know, I mean, no, it's like, Pretty Little Baby. I had no idea. Now it's like, huge on
Popular
social
again?
media. Yeah, as a matter of
Ah.
fact, there's a series of learning English, foreigners who want to learn English to music, and somebody has taken various songs and they write them out in handwritten, and then they have their pen that goes over the words. It's only a few paragraphs, a few verses of the song, one or two verses and the chorus. And they did that with Pretty Little Baby, and they also did it with Elvis Presley's song, like a river flows surely to the sea. It's kind of interesting that they're doing it, and I've been sending them to my wife, and she's been picking up on the English, because it's very, very simple, and when you sing along and you remember the tune, it's so much easier to remember a language.
But you
Oh,
always have
yep.
to sing.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I remember hearing people that I would meet in Europe, and they said, "Oh yeah, we learned English from the sitcoms or TV shows
right,
that American sitcoms were imported to Europe, and that's where they learned English from." It's kind of funny.
So what song should you not let your wife hear? Like, it's hot in here, take off all your clothes, or
No, I play that for her regularly. No, I would say some of those country songs like, She Got the Mind, I Got the Shaft. I'll keep that out of her repertoire.
You got to watch that.
Well, you should make sure she listens to the what's his name, Jimmy Buffett song, "Let's Get Drunk and Screw," right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. That's a good
one.
song.
Add that to your repertoire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt, can you hear me, Kurt? Because if you can, we want to know who's using that gamble tonight.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
The gamble is actually set up for tomorrow, but we had time today, and I got to fly to Portland and do a different show, so I wanted to make sure that it was all teched and ready to go for my guy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's using it tomorrow is the question.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, we were wondering who's using it. Is anybody using it, or is it there just in case?
No, it's
So close.
not getting used tonight. It's set up for the opener tomorrow. And I got to fly to Portland to do a different show, so I'm not here. So I wanted to set it and tech it, get it all tested.
Yeah, and the opener is?
All right.
It's a big
Opener have a
Hawaiian
name,
band.
or is it's just, oh, so nothing. So it's nobody we've heard of.
The headliner's somebody called Maleo, which is some Hawaiian thing, and then
Cool.
it's another Maui Hawaiian band before that.
Is it
Nice.
their guy mixing, or is it one of your guys mixing?
My guy, I'll mix.
Hey, Kurt, I want you to listen to this next bit that I'm going to talk about. And Greg, if anybody has anything to say, Ken, especially you, Ken Newman, you want to listen to it, and maybe Denny. Okay, so a friend of mine, Michael Maxon over at Meyer, put a post out today. I think it was yesterday, one day ago, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it. He says, "Howdy, all, senior technical support specialist, U.S. base
I
remote.
saw that.
Can you hang a PA, tune it, program a network switch, or no QLab can be creative?" And evidently, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they are looking for, Meyer is looking for somebody. Evidently, it looks like it's Meyer.
Are you sure
We have
it's
a lot
Meyer?
of cool new tech
It
coming.
is. I saw it also.
I mean, I know Mike real well, but I mean, is that a
Yeah,
Meyer gig
it's
with
yeah.
QLab? And
One thing Meyer Sound will not do is keep you in a box. You will grow in ways you never thought personally and professionally. It's all up to you. So, hey, I mean, there's a real gig. If you're tired of touring,
I'm gonna get my resume ready.
I spent 10
get
years
your
with
resume
Meyer.
ready. Get your CV ready, baby. Get your CV ready.
I might have an inside track on that one.
You might. You might.
You think? Just maybe?
Yeah, just maybe. What is that hat say, Panther? I couldn't read it.
does.
Yeah,
you're
that's
in.
right. I read
I always
it.
got to check
I read it
with the
right.
guy and make sure we're not wearing the same hat.
You're in.
Yeah, that's it. I'm wearing this hat with my super dog on it.
That would be a gig for Gregory.
We need to get you a gamble hat, Jan.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love it. I'll wear
Man.
it. But you better
you're
hurry
here
soon.
now. It's easy to ship to you, isn't it?
Yeah, very easy.
Send me your Vegas hat.
Are there
and I'll
gamble
ship you some
hats?
stuff. Well, I have made gamble hats, so there are
Oh,
because of me.
I used to sell
Oh,
gamble
very cool.
consoles.
Yeah.
Kind of hard but to believe they don't have a hat with the word gamble on it in Vegas. Just
Yeah.
thinking.
Who would have thought?
Well, see,
Well, I'll
it's
send one
kind
to
of
Jan and they will.
politically incorrect to encourage gambling.
Oh,
Absolutely.
No.
They all if they say, "Oh, try your luck" or something, they all say, it's like a subtext underneath that says, do it carefully or whatever it says, be
Kenny,
careful
you know
with
what
your
I've noticed about
gambling.
gambling in Las Vegas, about people who gamble in Las Vegas? They are so willing to share their stories about how much money they've won, but they never, ever talk about how much they've lost.
I've heard that. I've heard actually that the amount of money wagered in Vegas has decreased
Oh,
significantly.
tremendously. For the first time, Chris.
People are going there more for an experience, like the Sphere, or race a car, or shoot a machine gun, or go partying, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I saw a pair of people.
Hey, Chris, are you aware that with your specific camera angle, it looks like you have a propeller coming out of your head?
It took a long time to get to mount it, but it's
Propeller head.
A beanie.
Mr. Gadget.
No, Chris, one thing you mentioned is that the reality is that now entertainment is making more money for Las Vegas than gambling. At least that's what they say, more profit. I find that hard to believe.
I mean, even several years ago, before they did all these fees and everything else, I believe Macau made more money in gambling than Vegas by huge percentage.
Oh,
more.
the Chinese love of gambling is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Well,
There's a mic open
hey,
somewhere.
Kurt, could you mute your mic?
What, Fred?
Mute.
If you can mute your mic, the guys yelling behind you are being picked up.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear you, Fred.
You gotta mute your mic.
Oh,
Too many people are talking. I can't hear it.
This ain't the Zoom test kitchen, by the way. I want you to know that right now, you know? Yeah. So anyway, one more question I got for Greg, and that is the editing part of the book. Did someone go through the book and they edit it for you?
We had, I mean, again, because of the format, it wasn't too hard to do. I would edit the answers when they came in and work with the person involved. And then I did when we were at 100, it's actually 106 people. I sent it to my brother who lives in the Philippines actually, and he's written 3 books, and he kind of had his group of smart people go through it, and that was a big help just to catch the little things. I write an intro on every page, about everybody, and so there was a lot of that. But as far as it's not a narrative, it's not a story arc or anything where I needed the hardcore editing. I was looking for typos and did I get the quote right? And I would sometimes go back to the person and say, "This is what I'm going to publish. Are you good with this?" I do not want any trouble. And but so I would say my brother Dave was huge in it because he had experience with that, and that was about it. It went pretty fast.
Now, what about the legalese part of it? Did you have to protect yourself in any way, shape, or form? Releases, anything like that? Did you have to do anything like that for the book?
Just via email. I just said it wasn't anything formal. I said I want you to be sure that this is going to go in a book. Are you okay with it? And by doing those posts initially, that kind of paved the way so that when I had 60, they had already given me the okay to post essentially the page. So I was able to just go back and say, look, we're going to do a book. Are you okay with that? And I made sure I got everybody to sign off. Like with Jeff Daniels, that was one where there took a little rigmarole, but not much, because he had already okayed the main part of it. But again, nothing formal, but I got emails from everyone just to make sure, because I don't want, anyone to feel bad about this.
Yeah.
But it was,
that's
I was
my
careful.
biggest fear.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear about writing a book. Well, actually, my biggest fear is that it's not past the statute of limitations, and the
your name
the
and
Justice
names.
Department will come after me.
I mean, but I mean, you're right in a way. Your name and names, and if someone is not working with an act anymore, or maybe it ended badly, and they don't want to be associated, or I mean, all the stuff that you guys go through every day. This was going to be in writing. So I just, I did a lot of due diligence of just going back and saying, okay, we're still good. Are you happy? We're going to do this. This is what you said. And, but there were a few little changes, people say, no, I don't want to say that artist's name. I'm out on this tour or, but minor stuff. I know these people pretty well and I'm very careful. Ken and I went to lunch. I said, are you sure?
Wonder how Little Rock Connie got through all the release on all her book.
Who?
Little Rock Connie. Yeah, everybody knows her. I mean, if you don't know it, do your own research, and you'll be glad you did.
She asked me.
Hey, Mark. You mentioned last week about the Belgium fire, the Belgium stage fire, but I heard that the show went on. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, it was whoever has Metallica's stage stored over there from the last tour.
PRG.
No, Stage Pro, I think.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's
PRG was involved though.
Yeah, so Stage Pro, I heard that some of it was airlifted, but they got it there in time. I'm sure it was nothing like what it was going to be, but it didn't have to be. I heard nothing bad about it, only positive things. And Pardon my voice. It's about ready to go here.
They were
Sorry.
kind of the
Okay, well-
heroes in this, weren't they? Metallica and all that staging.
Oh, dude, that's 288 Panthers and 96 2100 LFCs. That'll make some noise.
Yeah.
I don't think
I thought the PA was all acoustics.
they brought all acoustics in.
No.
Yeah.
Meyer is Metallica.
know
No,
Meyer-
it wasn't,
Meyer
but it
does
wasn't
Metallica.
Metallica's PA.
Wasn't their PA.
It was
Oh.
Metallica.
Scaffolding
it
and
was Metallica's
staging.
stage.
Powers.
Oh. Sorry.
By the way, I just read, and I don't know, maybe Mark, you could fill us in, or somebody could fill us in. We were talking about imports, but I just heard that El Acoustic made a deal with a minerals company so that they can mine their own minerals for their speakers.
Neodymium or whatever, yeah, for the magnets.
Did anybody see the
Yeah, I
picture of the final set that they did in Tomorrowland? They left the Hulk that had burned over, and one of the part of the Stageco towers they laid over so it has like an abstract, kind of futuristic, construction behind
City
the
in ruins, kind of look.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
What I don't know, I'm curious about actually, is if they used any pyro during the show.
They did. I saw a pyro picture too.
Yeah. There's a video out with that. If you just Tomorrowland Boom. If you search for that on YouTube, you'll see the actual show.
During the
Tomorrowland
fire,
Boom, that's what we're looking for. Tomorrowland Boom.
in Boom.
Oh yeah, I mean
In Boom.
the video of the fire, you can hear and see all of the pyrotechnics are exploding and going off, and oh my goodness.
Right, but there was a video. I think it came out Tuesday. I saw it, and see you, Denny.
Hi, Danny.
Are you?
If are you leaving, or you just going to go mute? I don't know. I can't tell. So whatever it is, it's good to have you. He went. There he is. He's gone. So anyway, we're getting to the point where we're going to go offline, and we're just going to stay in the room and just talk amongst ourselves about things that we don't want the public to know. You're more than welcome to join us. If you know anyone in the room, you could always DM us, and we'll send you a link. But before we go, I want to see if there's anything that Greg has to say. First, we'll go with Greg. If there's anything you want to say to the listening public right now would be the time to do it. And then we'll go around the room to see if anybody else has anything they want to share.
No, this has been good. I'm glad you called me and got me on this. It's cool. We'll do some more of it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we could sell some books.
Yeah, let's sell some books and help the Roadie Clinic. I think that would be a mission accomplished. So
I'll tell you
thanks again
something.
for everyone.
I'll tell you something, Greg. So all kidding aside, SoundBroker right now, we're getting a ton of traffic thanks to the artificial intelligence aspect of the search now. People are no longer typing in specific items that they're looking for. In other words, in the old
What do you mean
days,
for
the
gear?
way people, it doesn't matter. Once
Right.
you're on they're crawling SoundBroker in an amazing amount of grandeur, to say the least. And so now, let me go back. So the old days, if you were looking for something, for example, Meyer Panther, you would type in Meyer Panther, and then all the sites that had Meyer Panther on it would come up. Now, if you say, I'm looking to buy a PA that will cover X amount of people in an X amount, SoundBroker now comes up number one in all the searches, which is great.
Another interesting thing right now, if you type in Gamble consoles for sale, Gamble EX56 for sale, SoundBroker is the number one.
Yeah, because basically we've been around 28 years. There's not a soul on this planet that could say I fucked them, because I didn't. And whereas none of my competitors can say that. And I'll say
Is that built into the AI logarithm?
Well, it is, because
Never
they take
fucked 'em?
all of the aspects of all the reviews and everything else. So if you say, where's the best place to do this? they're analyzing all the negative comments. And if there are
Right.
negative comments, of course, I've just given my competitors an opportunity to start putting out negative comments on me. So
It's a complicated world.
to quote Stephen Colbert, go fuck yourself. That's it, that's it. But the reality is that I'll put your book up on our site because I do have an
Oh, wow.
Amazon affiliate, and hopefully people will find it because
Thank you.
we'll write
That's
up a
what I
little
need.
blurb.
I need the
Help
real
me-
push.
Help me write a blurb so I could put it on the listing,
I'm a
and
good
then
blurb writer.
people when looking. Yeah. So
Thank you,
that's
Jan. I'll
I'm
call
serious.
you. We'll
And I've
We'll
got
do
it
that.
up
talk me
on my
through it.
site also.
I know, Mark,
Yeah.
you're into it. I appreciate anybody's help.
Yeah.
I think it's
And Mark, I've been saying to you, send me something so we can put it up on SoundBroker as well. But of course, you weren't ready. But maybe it seems like you're ready now because it seems like you're publishing stories at least 2 to 3 times a week.
I'm trying.
you're getting
Good.
it.
I'm
You're getting
happy
it,
for
Mark.
you. By the way, I love that picture you posted the other day of yourself in the heyday when I met you.
Oh my God.
That's a great picture of you.
That was from way before A1 Audio for me. That was it was on a break on Audio Analyst on Van Halen, I believe. And I looked fairly wide awake in that picture.
Yeah, well, all my pictures from those days, it seems like it was cold out because I had snow all around my nose. I don't
There
know
we
how
are.
that picture
There we
happened.
are.
I don't know how
There
that
we are.
happened.
There it is.
It was always cold around me.
Statute of limitations. Thank God.
Unless it's a
Yeah.
kiss cam.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
an
it's a kiss
ongoing.
cam.
It's an ongoing conspiracy. So you better keep quiet.
Thank you very much. Just remember, everything you heard today is an opinion. Do your own research. Not everything is the truth, that's all, And what is the truth anyway? What is the truth? Your truth might be different from my truth. And our memories, the funniest thing, of course, they say that the worst evidence that you could have is an eyewitness. And yet they put so much dependency on eyewitnesses. But you know what always amazed me?
Do tell.
I could recognize it like the back of my own hand. I'll bet anything, if I took a picture of people's hands, put it together, and had your hand in one of them, you wouldn't recognize your own back of your own hand. What do you think of that?
I need to go now. This has been fun. Buy the Panama book.
Yes.
Right,
Show us
right,
your
Greg.
book. Show us your book one more time. Put up
Sure.
everybody who's got a copy of that book. Put it up right now so we could all look at it. Just 100 questions.
You'll know everybody
very
in it.
good.
I guarantee. You'll know everybody. Yep. Thank you, guys. It's been cool.
Thanks for coming. We'll talk again soon, and we'll be posting. The little snippets and shorts, so we'll get more exposure for you. All right.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right. Very good. And by the way, with that in mind, remember, you make it happen. Make it happen. Have a great week. Come back next week and visit with us again. And until then, remember, like the show, share the show, and make it happen. Bye for now, everybody. And we will stay in the room and chat